like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So here's your review of Raw and SmackDown week commencing the 14th of August 2023. So it started with a Judgment coming out. Basically, when the Judgment Day came out, Finn Balor wasn't present. So Damon Priest has got angry and is like, where is Finn? He's letting this down. I can't handle this anymore. I can't keep it a secret. He has to call out Finn. So Finn wasn't there. Then JD turned up, says he's got a message for Finn. He says, don't worry, the target is Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. And the Judgment Day basically said they don't take orders from JD, who's not in the Judgment Day. Then Rhea tells Finn, we need to talk. And then Sami Zayn comes out and starts fighting with JD. So that leads straight into a match with JD versus Sami Zayn in a decent match. Finn comes out in the middle of the match, tries to help JD, but in the end, Sami Zayn gets the victory. Then we have Chelsea talking to Adam Pearce because Sonya is injured and she basically needs a new partner. And then Piper, I believe her name's Piper, she turns up and basically says, I'm your new tag team partner, that's that. Then Cody Rhodes talks about how Finn used to be a leader in Japan, in new wrestling, in the independent scene for the Bullet Club, but now, and he probably didn't say the Bullet Club, but they said basically now he's here and he's gonna put Finn down and he's ready for him. Then we had Gunther saying he's in Winnipeg and wanted to come to Canada, starts trashing Canada as well, but he's here to address Gable and gives Gable props, said he's been doing really good work recently, but he won't be able to beat the Ring General Gunther. And then Chad basically comes out, said he's coming for Gunther, and Gunther is soon to be the longest reigning Intercontinental World Champion, and he's going to stop that. And then Kaiser calls out the Alpha Academy, saying they're basically below the Imperium, and also Maxine should get with him and their team, and Maxine slaps Kaiser. Then it goes into Vinci versus Chad in a really good match, but in the end Chad got the victory. And then after the match, Gunther was really angry, so he called out Otis for a match. So it was Gunther versus Otis in a decent match, but in the end, come on now, knowing it, beating Gunther wins. Then we have Damien and Priest in the back, basically getting called out by Rhea. Rhea's telling everyone to sort their business out and get back on the same page. Then we have Drew. He was about to be interviewed, and the interview is interrupted by Riddle. Riddle basically turns up and says he wants them to be the new tag team in the tag team division and go for the titles. Then we have Riddle and Drew versus the Viking Raiders in a really good match. Go and watch it. But in the end, Drew got the victory, so congratulations to Drew. Then we have Raquel Rodriguez in the back. She's mad because she's injured, but a lady called up from NXT called Indy, I believe her name's Indy, will be facing Rhea instead. So then we have Drew and Riddle in the back. They're talking about becoming the new tag team champions. Then that conversation is overheard by the New Day, who basically wasn't happy with them entering the tag team championship division. They're still looking for the gunning for the titles, so they called out Drew and Riddle for a match, I believe on Raw next week, so we'll see. Then we had Rhea versus Indy in a decent match, but in the end, Rhea got the victory. Then we have Shinsuke Nakamura coming out. Basically, he's asked why did he kick Seth in the head, and he just says he wants the world title. But he talks in a lot of Japanese, so no one knows what he's talking about. Then Seth Rollins comes out, and Seth says he set him up and he took him out. That's exactly what Shin did. And now, at the end of the day, he needs him to do all what he had to do. And basically Seth said all that Shin had to do, if he wanted a title shot, was just to ask Seth Rollins for a title shot. He didn't need to kick him in the head. And then them two agree in the match. And then Seth basically says he'll face him at any time, any place, anywhere. And then Shin whispers something in Seth's ear, and Seth looks a bit uneasy, so I don't know what he said. Then we had The Miz saying he tore down LA Knight last week on the mic, and he may even be on SmackDown to see LA Knight face to face. Then we have Trish versus Becky in a decent match to start with, but it didn't end because it was a double count out, so that was that. Then we have Gunther upset at Giovanni for losing, and Kaiser said he won't lose focus again, obviously talking to Maxine. and that Gunther wants Chad. Then in the main event of the evening is Cody versus Finn in a really good match. Obviously both of them are awesome wrestlers, but in the end Cody got the victory. But Damien Priest basically coming down trying to help Finn, and he threw the briefcase to Finn, but Cody caught it and took him out. So yeah, that was that. And then Cody got a beat down and Sami Zayn came to help. Then we go to SmackDown. SmackDown is basically dedicated to Edge for wrestling for 25 years. I don't know if this is the end, it may be, but we're not sure. So he had it starts with his Grayson Waller effect. He had Santos and Rey Mysterio on there. Basically trying to cause a rift between them two, because Santos was meant to wrestle for the United States Championship, but instead Rey did, and Rey won. Then Austin Theory comes out and said basically he wants Adam Pearce to get Rey to give him back the title. As Adam Pearce comes out, LA Knight, comes out and goes, he basically wants in on the title shot, and what he wants to do, he wants to beat Austin Theory and then get a title shot. So they made that match. It goes straight into LA Knight versus Austin Theory for the winner to face Rey for the United States Championship. In the end, The Miz came out and The Miz distracted LA Knight, which gave Austin the victory. Then we had Bianca Belair and Charlotte versus Bayley and Io Sky in a really good match. Go and watch if you haven't seen it. But in the end, Bianca gets the victory. Then afterwards, Bianca gets jumped by the Damage Control, obviously. Then we had the OC versus the Street Profits in a really good match. Obviously, they're both great tag teams, but in the end the Street Profits got the win, and then Bobby Lashley came out to congratulate them. Then we had Paul Heyman getting interviewed at exactly what is happening with the Bloodline. Paul Heyman's really vague. He doesn't even answer any questions whatsoever, but he gets a phone call telling Paul Heyman that Jimmy Uso is going to be in SmackDown next week, potentially to explain what is happening. Then in the main event of SmackDown is Edge versus Sheamus. In a barn burner of a match, both of them kicking out both of their finishes, kicking out the bro kick, kicking out the spear, but in the end it's a classic match. Go and watch if you haven't seen it. Edge gets the victory in Toronto. This show was basically dedicated to Edge for wrestling for 25 years. If you haven't seen it, go and watch the match. So that is your review of Raw and SmackDown week commencing the 14th of August. Leave a comment.